How's it going, everyone? We've covered our fair share of PSN sales over the last probably month and a half. Haven't covered a ton of physical deals, so thought we would remedy that situation. And a good thing with this video, because there's a lot of good stuff available for those of you guys that are still buying the physical copies of your games. Definitely a lot of quality stuff to check out right now, so let's just get right into it. Plethora of these deals. I think the majority of these deals all available on Amazon as well, so let's get right into it. And let's start things off with Dying Light 2 Stay Human. It's down to $34.99 on Amazon. For a PlayStation 5 copy of the game, I should also note a PS4 copy of the game is down to $19.99. So the PS4 copy is available at Gamefly for $19.99. That's a used copy, but you can also upgrade it to the PlayStation 5 version, so whatever you want to do. Either is a pretty decent option. $35 may still be a little bit too pricey for my liking, given that we're 5 months removed from the release of this game. Yeah, about 5 months removed. I would say if it was at the $25 range, that would be a really solid pickup, but that's still a very good price. I mean, this is a game that I played right when it came out, and I had a good time with it. I completed it, and there's a sizable amount of content to the game. I think the gameplay's pretty good, and I think the parkour in the game, just like Dying Light 1, is very, very well done. There are some combat mechanics that I'm not too hot on, and I thought the narrative, while incredibly compelling for the first half or so, by the end, I wasn't very satisfied with the conclusion, so that was a little bit of a bummer, but hey, there's gonna be narrative DLC that's gonna be added. And with the story, I mean, Dying Light, it has a decent story, Dying Light 2 that is, but you're getting into it for the content, the parkour gameplay, the exploration, and I think those elements are done pretty well. And at a $35 price point, I think it's an okay pickup, but at a $19.99 price point, I think that's a really solid pickup. So that's my 2 cents on that. Next up, we have Trials of Mana, which is down to $19.99. Pretty solid JRPG here with quite a bit of replayability. $20 for it is actually a really good price, given that it hasn't gone on sale that regularly, and even when it does, you often see a $30 price tag, so $20 not that bad if you want more of a, you know, not top tier Square Enix JRPG, but a fairly good one and a solid remake. I think Trials of Mana, excuse me, is a pretty good pickup. But yeah, a price like this I think is like right around what it should be. Next up, we have Immortals Fenyx Rising, 75% off for $14.99. Man, I am not the biggest Ubisoft fan these days, but sometimes they put out gems like Immortals Fenyx Rising that unfortunately, you know, don't get all the buzz in the world from a commercial standpoint. This is a game that got discounted very quickly after release. It came out, I want to say, end of 2020, yeah, like December 2020. And right away, like probably a couple months after release, it was already down to $20. Since then, it, you know, not getting much cheaper than that, but $15 I think is a pretty solid pickup. Now, I wasn't a big fan of the story in this game either, but I thought the combat was pretty good and actually gets quite a bit of depth as you progress through the game. I thought the open world was a pretty colorful game to go through. I mean, it's not like a technical juggernaut by any stretch of the imagination. I mean, it's even available on the Nintendo Switch. But it's a fun world to go through, and there's some charming elements to the game for sure, and for a lot of you guys, you might like a lot of those elements more than they resonated with me, but $15 for Immortals Fenyx Rising I think is a pretty good pickup as well. You know, I wouldn't expect this to get much cheaper, but by the time it gets down to $9.99, I think it's a slam dunk pickup. At $15, still think it's quite good. Next up, I want to give a shout to Babylon's Fall. It is $19.99 now. I'll be frank, was not a fan of this game, so yeah, like Square Enix is going to continue to support it. I just thought it'd be a worthwhile mention given that this was a game that came out back in like March, and yeah, 4 months later already down to $19.99. Kind of wild to see that, but you know, them's the break sometimes with games not completely resonating at the level maybe the publisher expected it to, but, you know, they're still supporting the game, they're still updating the game, so hopefully it does make a decent turnaround. I mean, we've seen Square Enix games make a sizable turnaround before, so it wouldn't be too far of a stretch, but we'll see how that goes. That's $19.99 right now on Amazon. Next up, Ghostwire Tokyo. This is 50% off for $29.99. You know, this is a game that we did a full review of, and I quite enjoyed it. It definitely had its shortcomings, much like Dying Light 2. This is a game that I thought started really good from a narrative standpoint, but man, it just kind of had some pacing issues and had a very abrupt ending that I thought left the game's story a little bit unfulfilled. I thought it had a great main antagonist for the moments he was there, and the relationship between the two main characters, I thought that was a pretty interesting dichotomy as well. Gameplay was solid. You had a variety of different elemental abilities that, you know, maybe got a bit repetitive, but you also have all these different upgrades and whatnot you can get, and it's got a pretty decent amount of content. That's probably the element of the game I was the most surprised with, in how much content was available in Ghostwire Tokyo. If you want to do everything, it's probably going to take you, 25-30 hours, so yeah, was not expecting that, you know, for a survival horror game coming from Tango Gameworks. I guess you could just say it's more of like an action horror game because it doesn't go the super survival horror route, but nonetheless, $29.99 I think is a solid pickup on that. Next up, some Kingdom Hearts titles. Kingdom Hearts Melody of Memory, $24.84. This is a music rhythm game. If you like the Kingdom Hearts music, if you like music rhythm games, probably going to be something you enjoy. A nice extension to the Kingdom Hearts universe. And then we also have the Kingdom Hearts all-in-one package. This is $24.99. Now, if you want to get into Kingdom Hearts, this is the complete collection that you should check out. It's got Kingdom Hearts 1, Kingdom Hearts 2, Raid Chain of Memories, Birth by Sleep is in there, cutscenes from the other games. Kingdom Hearts 3 is in there. Unfortunately, the Remind DLC is not in there, but man, you're getting a ton of content for your dollar, and I would highly recommend it at $25. I think this is a great pickup, and you know, Kingdom Hearts 1 for sure shows its age, but Kingdom Hearts 2 I still think is fairly good, and I think the other games for quite a bit of fun as well. And even Kingdom Hearts 1, yeah, it does show its age, but you know, you're getting all that content for 25 bucks. It's kind of a ridiculous deal. And again, some of the best soundtracks that Square Enix has ever put out. I mean, when you talk about some of the main theme songs like Sanctuary, you know, Simple and Clean, those are like some iconic tracks. So 25 bucks for that, I think, is pretty good. Not just for the music, but for the whole collection, is what I'm saying. Definitely a good gateway into Kingdom Hearts. Next up, we have Skyrim Anniversary Edition, $24.99 on this. I mean, it's Skyrim. I think everybody's played some form of Skyrim at this stage of the game. I really enjoyed it. You know, it has some nice additional content on top of your base Skyrim game, has the DLC, and extends it quite a bit. Nice PS5 upgrade as well if you're going to be playing it on PlayStation 5. You know, Skyrim honestly doesn't run as well on PlayStation 4 as I would have liked, but the PlayStation 3 version of Skyrim was a pretty big abomination, so yeah, PlayStation 4 version kind of gets it to an acceptable level, and the PlayStation 5 version is pretty darn good, so $25 for Skyrim. I mean, I'm always going to be a sucker for that. Next up, we got Nier Replicant, $19.99 on this. Talk about another Square Enix game with a tremendous soundtrack. That's exactly what you're getting out of Nier Replicant. One of the best soundtracks across this game and Nier Automata. Two of the best soundtracks Square Enix has ever put out. And Nier Replicant, well, I wouldn't say it's as good as Nier Automata. Still has a really strong story. The combat's actually pretty decent. Not as good as Automata, but still pretty good. And, yeah, again, you're going in for it with the engaging story, decent bit of content, and a great soundtrack as well. So $19.99 for that, I think, is great. Elex II, thought I'd give that a mention. $19.99, that's a recent release, so I thought that was worth a mention. Definitely more of a throwback RPG. I played Elex 1, and that was a game that definitely required a little bit to get into, so you know, take that for what you will. Lost Judgment is $29.99, while Judgment on PS5 is $19.99. Talked about those games quite a bit. If you're a fan of the Yakuza-style games, if you're a fan of games that have, you know, pretty good stories and quite a variety of content, definitely check out Judgment and Lost Judgment. And for a lot of people, Judgment is going to be the more accessible game as opposed to the Yakuza franchise, just because Judgment has English voiceovers. It was a game designed ground up for the PlayStation 4, and it's retaining a lot of those gameplay elements that obviously Yakuza Like a Dragon took a little bit of a shift on, but nonetheless, two good pickups there. And then one last deal, Riders Republic, $19.99 on this as well. This is a game that I foresaw getting cheap pretty quickly, but hey, it's been like 9 months since this game has been out. $19.99 seems to be a pretty fair price for it, so I thought that would be worth a mention as well. But that's going to do it for me. Again, links to all of these deals will be in the description box below. As always, going to try to cover the physical deals a little bit more, especially, you know, as we get into the latter portion of the year, I'll definitely mention them a little bit more. But yeah, the PSN stuff is what a lot of people have been itching to see more of, so we'll continue to cover that as well. But that's going to do it for me. Sound off with all of your thoughts in the comment section down below. Thank you for watching, and goodbye. Hey guys, we hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure to hit the subscribe button, and if you're already subscribed, do us a favor and hit the bell icon. This way you'll be notified whenever we post a new video. That's the best way to keep up with all of our uploads, and we usually try to upload 2 videos a day. And with the bell icon hit, you'll be notified whenever we do upload a video. As always, thanks for watching.